Welcome back to Hawboro and Triad Stage's social distancing radio theater. We're glad you've joined us for the next episode of Edward II. Please be advised this episode contains violence. When we were last in Asterdale, it was April 8th, 1966. Isabella Blessing and her daughter Eleanor had flown in from New York when they received news that Edward was suffering from pneumonia. What Isabella discovered upon her arrival was much more disturbing. She confronted Mortimer, demanding to know the truth about what actually happened to Edward and Danny. Mortimer and Isabella then confessed their passion for each other and plotted to keep the Blessing fortune out of Lucy's hands. After making plans to try to force Edward to sign a will, leaving everything to Eleanor to be held in their trust, they banished Lucy to the Dixie Hotel and made plans to consummate their passion. Eleanor, who was hiding in the secret liquor pantry, overheard everything. It is now late afternoon on the same day. The door to the hallway opens, and Olive Rogers escorts Peggy Pickler into the library. Peggy is carrying her black medical bag.
The young Mrs. Blessing said, "Would you wait in here? She's a bit delayed. That child of hers is a handful."
Blessed children are mollycoddled. They wouldn't be so spoiled in my house.
Your boys sure are upstanding.
You got children of your own?
No, I never married.
Well, in some parts of town, seems like marriage ain't necessary for children.
Might be, in some parts. But I'm not the mothering kind.
I heard that about you. Look at that.
What?
That trash.
Where?
On the table.
Where?
Oh, that magazine. God is dead. That's the kind of filth you find in this house.
Would you like me to turn it over so you can't see it?
I'd like you to burn it, is what I'd like for you to do.
Ever since I saw pictures of the Nazis burn books, I kind of turned against the practice, but
Listen to her.
if the magazine offends you, I'll take it from the room.
Some folks say you're one of the good ones, Olive. Is that right? Are you one of the good ones?
Mrs. Pickler, I'm not good and I'm not bad. I'm just trying to do my job. Now, if you want tea or coffee, you should tell me, 'cause I'll go fetch it. No?
Olive Rogers.
Yes, ma'am.
Olive.
That's my name.
You got an ice cold Coca-Cola?
No, ma'am. Mr. Blessing hated them. Wouldn't have them in the house. He said they'd rot your insides out.
That lot of good did him. He rotted all the same.
Mrs. Blessing will be down soon.
God is dead. Sin, sin, sin.
Peggy! Goodness, I can't believe you're back again so soon. You are a stalwart friend to the Blessings.
I ain't no friend. No way, no how. But what I am is, I'm a Christian. I do my duty. Who is it this time?
My husband.
I'm not surprised. Is he dying?
We don't know. We just know he's very sick.
Oh, he's sick, all right. What did Doc Baldwin say?
My husband has a brain fever.
Doc Baldwin prescribed medication to control him, but he thinks Eddie, needs a very specialized kind of care. Look, Peggy, I know you hate the Blessings, and I understand why. But Peggy, I tell you, I also know you. You are a Christian, and I speak to you as a Christian myself. Everything you and I and Isabella here stand for is threatened by Eddie and his sickness.
He's gone out of his mind, Miss Pickler. Stark, raving loony.
And we need you to control him for us.
I am not a blessing by blood, Miss Pickler. I am not asking as a representative of the family, but as a woman wronged, like yourself.
Blessings killed my husband.
I know they did, Miss Pickler.
They locked the doors, didn't they, Peggy?
Yes, and my Cyrus burned up.
And you want your revenge, don't you, Miss Pickler?
I want my justice. Oh, I'm pleased watching their dying, Mrs. Blessing. The look in their eyes when they see the fires of hell. But that ain't justice. That's just joy. An eye for an eye is justice. Tit for tat. One of theirs for one of mine. Be strong, fear not, behold, your God will come with vengeance.
Well then, Peggy, I believe the good Lord is on his way. Why don't I go up and fetch Eddie? Mrs. Blessing will fill you in on exactly what kind of care he needs.
Lady, I want you to know, before anything else, I don't take no pleasure in the wives passing.
Of course not.
No, I didn't want you to think that. I mean, the wives got hard. I pity them. Not Lucy. Not her. No. Lucy's death will be my jubilation. Hallelujah.
Miss Pickler, have you heard what folks say about my husband? His sin?
I have.
And do you think he is what they say he is?
Mrs. Blessing, I know it to be true.
Myself, Miss Pickler, as well. And I know the burden of that truth. But my knowledge is only recent. Only recently was it made clear to me with my own eyes. I couldn't. You have to believe me, have married him if I had any inkling at all.
Your husband, honey, is an abomination.
So you understand. As a mother and as a Christian, I am most concerned about my daughter, about my family, about this town.
Yeah, I reckon your husband is just about the worst sinner in this town.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we have to do something, don't we, Miss Pickler? We have to do something as Christians to stop him.
It don't matter what we do. God's got a plan. Your husband will burn up in flames.
Like your husband burned, Miss Pickler.
My husband's scorching was heaven's flame, not but heaven's forge for Christian steel.
Oh.
Your husband, however, will burn forever.
For sinning as he does.
Detestable, unnatural sin and shame.
Yes. You will help us, won't you, Miss Pickler?
Christ commands.
Yes, he does. He commands us so. Yes. Now, the important thing, and this is of utmost concern, Miss Pickler, we need to get Eddie to sign some papers. These here. It's clear where he needs to sign. It's marked. Now, I don't care what you have to do. You do whatever it takes. But he has to sign these papers. Do you understand me?
Why?
Because, and this means as much to me as I think it will to you, if Eddie signs these papers, the Blessing family will be ruined, and the justice that you have longed for will be yours at last.
It ain't my job to make justice. It's God's. My only duty is to keep account.
Then God will be working through you. Now, whatever you do, don't make any marks that people will see.
How in the hell am I going to get him to sign them papers if I can't leave no marks?
No marks on the face, I mean. We'll have to have an open casket.
You want him dead?
After he signs these papers.
You want your husband dead?
He's a danger to our community, Miss Pickler. He's sick. He's perverted. You know how people like that are. How they do.
This is your husband that you're talking about. Married in the sight of God.
My husband lied to God. In front of God, he lied. My marriage is deception. Listen to me, Miss Pickler. When Eddie signs those papers, when Eddie is dead, the Blessings will be no more. Imagine that. We both have so much in common, Peggy. May I call you Peggy? We have both of us, had our hearts ripped open by this detestable, sinful family.
I'll get him to sign your papers, lady.
Oh, thank you, Peggy. Thank you.
But I won't kill him. I got compunctions on that.
But Peggy, I don't think that this
But my boy Mace now, he ain't got no compunctions. Send somebody to fetch Mace. Mace works down to the dive room. Between the two of us, yeah, we'll get it done.
Thank you, Miss Pickler.
Just doing my Christian duty, Mrs. Blessing.
Here you go, Eddie. Here you go. Now, stop fidgeting so.
What in the name of my sweet Savior have you done to him?
Calm down, Eddie, now. Everything is going to be just fine. Back down in your office now. And there's someone here. There's someone here who has come to help you.
Hello, Mr. Blessing. How are you? You know who I am? They called me because you're feeling poorly. Look at you. You gotten yourself in a right state, ain't you? Well, we'll get you like you ought to be. Don't you worry.
That's right, Eddie. Peggy's gonna take real good care of you.
You best listen up, Eddie, now, and do what Miss Pickler says. Miss Pickler knows best.
You just listen up good and do like she tells you. And everything is gonna be just fine. Ain't it, Peggy?
Why don't you Wins leave me and Mr. Blessing here alone? I think maybe his nerves ain't so good around so many people. You Wins go. I'll get him calmed down. And Mrs. Blessing, you go on and send for Mace. Tell him his mama needs him.
We will.
Now you Wins clear on out of here, and you best stay gone till late.
We will. Get him to sign.
We will. We sure will. We'll get him feeling better quick as a wink. Now, Mr. Blessing, What seems to be your problem? Well, your wife done told me it's a brain fever, but it looks to me like maybe it's something worse. It looks to me like, you got yourself a terrible case of sin. And the only way to cure sin is to atone. And you want to atone, don't you? Rid yourself of the burden of sin. It's easy to do. Real easy. See, your wife and that Mortimer fella, they want you to sign some papers. And you're going to sign them before we're done. Yes, you are. Yeah, yes, you are. But I don't care about them papers. It's the sin I got my eye on. See, you and me is going to figure out a way to cure that sin. And if we don't, well, we'll just cut it out. Oh, now don't get so agitated, Mr. Eddie. I expect this won't take long. Why don't I get my medicine bag here and see if it ain't got something inside that can make you better? You want me to do that? Shall I get my bag?
Please don't, please.
No? Oh, you ain't scared of a little medicine, is you? You know, by rights, this ain't my bag at all. It belonged to that New York doctor. Remember, huh? Finkelstein. Come down here to Dr. Cullard's. Yeah, only he don't need it no more. Let's see, I got so many things in this bag. So many things. Okay, there's things you think. Oh, well, then there's other things. Things you might be surprised you saw. What we got? What we got? Oh, look at here. Look at here. I got me a pair of pliers. I wonder how come I got me a pair of pliers in this here medicine bag. Oh, and here's a little knife. Oh, just a wee sharp little knife. I couldn't kill nobody with a knife like this, but I could make them bleed a little. Used to people thought bleeding was good for a body. I reckon most times I concur. Now, Mr. Eddie, how about we don't make me use this here knife and these here pliers, and you just go on ahead and sign these papers. Nice and easy.
Fuck you.
Oh, no. Now there on, Mr. Eddie, that ain't near but a scratch. So now, what else have I got, Oh, here's a Bible. God's Word, best medicine of them all. And, oh, looky. Here's 3 little bottles. Medicine. Not the kind you get from Regis's Rexall. No, this is old medicine. Things my mama taught me. Learnt it from hers. Now, there's nutmeg syrup and gypsum weed and a little tincture made out of pokeberries. You know what all them will do to you, Mr. Blessing? Well, if you took all of them, all at once, just great big gulps of them, I'd reckon you'd die. But if you had someone who knows, someone trained up in their power, who could give them to you, drop by drop, see, this is how it would go. Your belly and guts and your private parts, they is all gonna catch fire, feels like. Oh, you'll be screaming from the pain of it. And pretty soon, everything in you, puke and shit and piss, would just pour on out. And out, and then out, and out. And sooner or later, these here roots and berries and weeds would work to make your mind go weak. You'll start seeing things, Mr. Blessing. Oh, you'll see angels and demons and snakes and everything and anything you ever been afraid of ever in your life. You'll scratch at your skin Tear it apart till you bleed to get at all them dreamed up maggots and worms chewing at your inside. You'll lose your mind, Mr. Blessing, with all your screaming and picking and shitting and puking and seeing things straight out of hell. Now, honey, you want to sign these papers for me?
Never. No.
Oh, Lord. Ugh. Looks like we're going to make us a mess. I better go get a bucket and some towels. Free will, Mr. Blessing, means you got a choice. God gives you that choice. You think on that.
Stop it, Mr. Eddie. You're going to choke yourself. Now here, I'm going to take out the gag for just a minute so you can have a drink of water, but don't make a noise or that Pickler witch will come running.
Olive,
Hush!
help me.
Drink this water, then I'm gone.
Olive, I need you to help me. Will you help me, please?
I got no time for this. She's boiling water, but she'll be back soon.
No, they're gonna kill me, Olive, like they did Danny. You gotta help me, please.
What you got to do, Mr. Eddie, is help yourself. Whatever it is she wants you to do, you do it.
They want what's mine, Olive. All this is mine. They can't have it.
Ain't nothing in the world worth what that woman's gonna do to you.
It's mine.
You got too big for your britches, Mr. Eddie. There isn't any money in the world can buy what you thought you bought.
I'm the Cotton King, Olive. I'm a blessing.
You're a fairy, fool, and if you don't sign them papers, you're going to be a dead one. Hush. One more sip, and then the gag.
I've always liked you, Olive. I always have. I got lots of colored friends in the city. It ain't like it is here in the city. I could send you there, Olive. I could send you up north if you wanted. They used to talk about you down at the Oasis.
You hush about that.
You and that Reba woman of yours, we're the same, Olive. We're the same.
We aren't the same. We aren't anywhere near the same. Me and Reba, you leave us out of this mess. See, I'm not part of your story, Mr. Eddie. You think I am because you pay me, and you think I care because I serve you. But my story and your story haven't got a goddamn thing to do with each other. It's just a job. It isn't who I am.
I'll give you whatever you want. You listen to me, Olive. You name it, whatever you want, whatever.
You got nothing I want. Nothing I want, Mr. Eddie. Not a thing in this world. Because the only thing I want, and you hear me now, the only thing I want is to burn this town down.
As Olive Rogers leaves the library, and Edward Blessing is left weeping and waiting for what Peggy Pickler has planned, we leave the scene. I'm Preston Lane, producing artistic director of Triad Stage and the author of Edward II, and I want to thank you very much for listening. I also want to give a very special thank you to our artistic team, Sarah Hankins, Foley artist Keaton Brower, props master Andy Canning-Skinner, and our editor, Taylor Dankovich. The cast of this episode included Melanie Matthews as Olive Rogers, Beth Ritson as Peggy Pickler, Brian Mullins as Mortimer Chestnut, Abigail Wilson as Isabella Blessing, and Michael Newman as Edward Carson Blessing II. For more information about Hawboro, including a Blessing family tree, visit hawboro.org. To stay up to date on what Hawboro is doing right now, check out facebook.com/Hawboro. For more virtual content from Triad Stage, visit us on Facebook and Instagram at Triad Stage. Support for the arts is more vital now than ever, and your help is essential. Please like and share our virtual content to spread the word about how we are continuing conversations with our audience and community. To make a donation to support our continued work, you can visit our website at triadstage.org/support. Again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you back in Hawboro.
Hmm.